All right, guys, we are rolling into the dealership, and I think that is my new Mojave right there. So all right, guys, we're just walking out. We are done with all the paperwork. This thing is now officially mine. So 2023 Gladiator Mojave. Again, this is a pretty base model. The only option it has is the automatic transmission. So it doesn't even have, there's no remote start, there's no heated seats, none of that stuff. So now we're gonna go directly over to Bell Tire, and we're gonna get these stock tires swapped out for some 37-inch BF Goodrich KO2. So it's gonna be looking really sweet after that. All right, guys, here we go. We're getting ready to pull out of the dealership here for the first time with this bad boy. And we got, about an hour's drive to get over to Bell Tire, and we're gonna get these factory Falcon Wild Peak all-terrains swapped out for some 37 by 12.5 BF Goodrich KO2s.
In a quarter mile, turn right on Michigan 19 South.
Certainly gonna miss having that extra power of the 4xe, the electric motor, but it's not bad. Yeah, I can get used to that. But man, it's weird having white. It's just so bright. Need to get some kind of decals to cover that up a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm gonna like this thing. It's gonna be cool. All right, so first impressions, I've put about 43 miles on this Jeep since picking it up at the dealership. And I mean, so far it's mostly the same as just driving a Jeep Wrangler, right? So the same chassis, it's basically the same vehicle, right? Just with truck bed. So there's not a whole lot of difference. With this one being a Mojave with Fox, suspension, I feel like it maybe rides a little bit rougher, but it's tough to say because my other Jeeps have 35s and 37s. This has the stock 35 or 33s. So we'll see once we get the 37s on, maybe more of a comparison. Otherwise, yeah, it's very similar, very much the same. Not a whole lot of cool stuff to report. Let me show you this. So on the interior, this kind of panel here is a little bit different texture. So on the Wranglers, this is like a smooth material, and this on this Gladiator, it's kind of a rougher material. So that's kind of the only major difference. Otherwise, it's basically all the same. I also have to get used to not having regenerative braking. So on the 4xe, they have the regenerative braking, and so when you take your foot off the brake, it starts to kind of slow down for you. And at first that was really, really weird, but now that I'm used to it, it's weird to not have it like on this Jeep. So you just have to put more pressure on the brake, and so I'll be used to it. It's not a big deal, it's a normal thing, but it is really nice to have that on the 4xe. All right, guys, so we just got done at Bell Tire, and we're about to drive this thing home. Let me show you what it looks like with 37s, but first let me tell you what we did. So from the dealership, I came over to Bell Tire. They took the 4 stock Falcon Wild Peak AT3s or whatever, and they took those on trade, right? They gave me, I think, like $180 per tire towards these new BF Goodrich KO2s. So ultimately out the door, I paid $718. So again, they took the old tires, they put the new ones on for me, $718. We now have 37s. So here's what we got with 37s on this thing. Let me back up without that mode. So looks pretty good. These Mojaves just sit so high. It looks like there's still just plenty of clearance. So I might still throw on some 1.5-inch wheel spacers, just like we did on my 22 Wrangler. But otherwise, let's take it for a ride and see what's rubbing, if anything. Get rolling. All right, so we're a few miles down the road so far. I'm very impressed. Ride's great. quiet. I almost want to say these BF Goodrich are quieter than the 33-inch Falcons that we replaced them with. So super happy. It seems to ride really well, all that good stuff. Also, when I turned the wheel lock to lock in the parking lot, I didn't have any kind of rubbing that I could hear on the wheel wells. So that's really good, because I actually did have wheel well rubbing on the Wrangler 4xe. So we may not have a need for wheel spacers at all, but when I get it home too in the next few days, we'll throw it up on some of those little hills that I have at my house, and then kind of try to get it flexed out and see if we got any rubbing spots. We may still need the wheel spacers, so we'll see. So far, I am freaking stoked. This thing looks awesome with 37s. And the Mojave, again, it's so tall, like from the factory. I mean, it looks totally fine. It looks like there's still room. You could probably go bigger or something. So it's pretty cool. So you may even be able to fit a so-called real 37-inch mud terrain, because I think that these BF Goodriches only measure out to like 36.6 inches or something like that. So they're kind of slightly under, you know, a true 37-inch mud terrain. But you know, plenty good for what I'm doing. Especially this is a daily driver. I drive this thing far, or I will be, and you know, I want to be able to have good, you know, low road noise and good drivability in the snow, all that kind of stuff, right? And have these things last for a long time too. Following Katie home, she's got the red Jeep. So I think the plan is she's going to be driving the red Jeep now. This will become hers, and then I'll keep on driving the Gladiator. Or that is at least the plan. So both these Jeeps now have 37s. Pretty awesome. One other thing I want to mention is I can already tell with these 37s that the automatic transmission is staying up a gear, or you know, it's not going up, down a gear. It's going down a gear a little bit faster than it was before. And that's exactly what it does in our Wranglers with the 35s and 37s too. So it's not a big deal. It's just, it kind of shifts, you know, a little bit faster than it would, and you're totally used to it. You don't even think about it anymore. But what I find too is because it's usually down a gear more than it would normally be with the smaller tires, it almost feels peppier, even though you've got a bigger diameter tire, which theoretically makes it slower because it reduces your overall effective gear ratio. But it almost feels peppier because a lot of times when you go to give it gas, it's already down that gear, and so it doesn't have to shift like it normally would. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of cool, but that's just something. Just want to share that thought with you guys. If you know, if you're getting one of these things and you want to go to 37-inch tires, you know, the transmission will stay a little bit higher. So it'd be interesting to see what kind of fuel economy we end up getting with this thing. You know, right now being brand new, it's only averaging like 16 miles per gallon. So, you know, it's going to probably be worse now with 37. So hopefully once this thing gets broken in, you know, maybe we get 17, 18 like we have been in the 4xe, but we'll see. So I wasn't sure if I was crazy at first, but after putting like 10 more miles on this thing, it definitely rides a lot better with these BF Goodrich 37-inch KO2s than it did with the factory 285/70/17 Falcon Wild Peak AT3s or whatever they are. So it's really interesting. Like, it just rides softer, doesn't feel as firm, feels more a little bit floatier, you know, a little bit nicer of a ride. It just doesn't feel like it's crashing over bumps as much. I mean, it's not a huge difference, don't get me wrong. The thing drives fine stock, right? But this definitely feels a lot better. And now it feels even more like when I'm driving my Wrangler 4xe with the same exact tires. So definitely a nice little upgrade, especially for, you know, if you have like a Bell Tire near you or some kind of tire store that's willing to buy your factory takeoffs. I mean, for $700, that's a pretty sweet deal. What do you think?
We finally got it.
Yep.
Can we go inside of it?
That's our new Jeep truck. Oh, God, yeah, you guys should have put shoes on. So what do you guys think?
I want to go in here.
And it's already got 37-inch tires just like the red Jeep does. So it's got big tires. That's where we just picked it up from. It was from the tire store. So what do you guys think? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up? Thumbs up? All right, we're going to put the top down. So we already unlatched it. And then boom. First time the top's been down.
Don't record it.
The tiny bed. Hopefully my bike fits back there at least.
Oh my gosh, if we go to outside movie theaters, this is perfect. Oh, it's small.
Yeah, it'd be sweet. Well, I don't know if you guys can pick it up with the camera, but it does look like side by side. This is a Rubicon 4xe, which sits about 1 inch higher than a regular 4xe. They both have the same exact tires on it. Now these are a little bit more worn, obviously, but it looks like this is sitting like 1/2 inch to 1 inch taller than the Rubicon. So the Mojave definitely is quite a bit higher, it looks like.
Dad, isn't it electric?
No, it's not electric. This is just the gas motor, so it's not as fast. Doesn't do awesome chirpy chirps like this one does. But it will blow the back tires off in two-wheel drive.
Get rid of it. Dad, look. Dad, can we drive it?
Oh, there you go. Matches the Jeep.
Dad, can we drive it?
Perfect. So one thing we just found out, you know, versus like a Wrangler, right? Because this is the first time having a Jeep truck. So you can pull that down. And then
you have like storage.
Yeah, you got a little storage thing and a compartment to put stuff so it doesn't fly away, roll everywhere.
What is this?
I don't know. Oh, that's the latch that holds it. But then this is like a tether car seats or whatever. And then the bottom lifts up. And we got more storage. And then this type of thing, this is usually found in the back of the Wrangler for all your bolts for your doors, bolts for your windshield, bolts for all that crap that you take off. So that's really cool. So that's nice. We got that little storage there too. So pretty cool. Otherwise, it's basically the same exact size as a Wrangler. So it's pretty cool. And then eventually we'll have to figure out, you know, you pop all this side panel off, pop this thing off and whatever. But it's too cold for that right now.
The middle is so small. Like.
No, it should be the same as the other one.
Look at this. Look how small this is.
Uh-huh.
This big. Now look at our normal Jeep. No, this. Look at this.
Yeah, it's the same, dude.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, it's the same.
This big. But it's connected to it though.
Yeah, but this one you got the batteries, so we don't have any storage under here, right? It's just the batteries, so that's kind of nice. You got that. And then these seats I think are a little bit taller because of the batteries too, so you've got more headroom and stuff inside of the Gladiator. Final thing I just want to talk more about is the pricing on one of these. So right now, if you're thinking about getting a Gladiator, specifically a 23 model year Gladiator, now's the time because dealerships are trying to get rid of these things. So again, this one has a $54,709 MSRP. I believe that's correct, somewhere around there, 54.7. And we ended up getting this thing for $43,622.52 out the door. That includes transferring my old plate, you know, tag, title, you know, any other stuff like that. 6% Michigan sales tax is included in that. So I want to say the actual, you know, purchase price is something like just under $41,000. So it's around 14,000 off MSRP, which, you know, for usually a Jeep Wrangler or Gladiator, there's not a whole lot that you get off. Now that does include my employee discount plus all the other stuff. But again, savings of about 14,000 bucks off one of these things, you know, getting this thing for about 40 grand. It's a great deal. The problem is this one again is a Mojave that doesn't have really any options, right? I mean, they come with a lot of options just as the Mojave trim package, but this one only has the automatic transmission, so it's missing a lot of stuff. I mean, you can go out there and be able to purchase a Willys or a Sport that almost has the same MSRP or even higher than this higher trim level Mojave. So you kind of got to pick and choose what you want, but for us, this thing's going to be freaking awesome, and it allows me to do a lot of the modifications that I want to do myself. You know, I can add LED headlights, taillights, a lot of the stuff. So remote start, right? And so it'll be cool content to film for you guys as we do it as well. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. We're welcoming this new truck to the stable, and like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll catch you guys on the next one.